Welcome, everyone, to English Conversation Amelia. Today, we're diving deep into something that will completely transform your English journey: how to learn English grammar from absolute zero. And I promise by the end of this conversation, you'll have a complete roadmap that actually works in real life.
Oh, Amelia, I'm so glad we're talking about this. I've been struggling with grammar for years, and honestly, I don't even know where to start anymore.
Tell me, what exactly makes grammar feel so impossible for you? I want to understand your struggles because I know thousands of learners feel the same way.
Well, every time I open a grammar book, there are all these rules. Present simple, past perfect continuous, conditionals. It's like learning a completely different language.
You know what? You just said something incredibly important. Grammar isn't a different language. It's simply the skeleton that holds English together. And today, we'll make it as natural as breathing.
Really? Because I've tried so many methods and nothing seems to stick in my brain for more than a few days.
That's because most people start wrong. Let me ask you, when you learned to walk as a baby, did you first study the biomechanics of human movement?
Of course not. I just watched others and tried, fell down, got up, and eventually walked.
Exactly. And that's our first major principle. Grammar learning should mirror natural language acquisition, not academic torture.
But, Amelia, I'm an adult now, not a baby. How can I learn grammar the same way?
Fantastic question. Here's the secret. Start with what I call grammar shadows, not grammar rules. Let me give you a daily life example.
Grammar shadows? I've never heard that term before.
Right. So imagine you want to learn present simple tense. Instead of memorizing subject plus verb plus S for third person, you shadow real sentences you hear every day.
Can you give me a concrete example from daily life?
Absolutely. Think about your morning routine. You wake up and think, I drink coffee every morning. That's present simple. Your roommate drinks tea. There's your third person S naturally appearing.
Oh, wow. So I'm actually encountering grammar constantly without realizing it?
Yes! And here's where most learners make their biggest mistake. They try to memorize rules instead of noticing patterns in real usage.
But my previous teacher always said we must learn all the rules first before speaking. Was that wrong?
Not completely wrong, but backwards. Let me explain with another daily example. How did you learn to use a smartphone?
Well, I just started using it. Pressed buttons, made mistakes, figured things out.
And eventually you read the manual, right?
Actually, I never read the manual. I just learned by doing.
Perfect! Grammar should work the same way. Use it first in context, then understand the rules to refine your usage.
But what if I make mistakes? Won't I develop bad habits that are hard to break later?
Do you know how many grammar mistakes native speakers make every single day? Tons! And they communicate perfectly fine. Really? But native speakers always sound so perfect to me. Let me give you a reality check. I heard someone yesterday say, me and John went shopping. Grammatically, it should be John and I, but everyone understood perfectly. So, grammar doesn't matter? No, grammar matters for clarity and professionalism, but perfectionism kills progress. Here's your roadmap, starting from absolute zero.
Yes! Please, I'm ready to take notes.
Step 1. Spend your first month just noticing how English builds sentences. Watch one TV show episode daily and write down 5 complete sentences you hear.
Just write them down? Don't analyze them?
Exactly. Your brain is incredibly smart. It will start noticing patterns automatically. This is called implicit learning.
What kind of TV show should I watch?
Something you genuinely enjoy with everyday conversations. Sitcoms work great. Friends, Brooklyn Nine-Nine, shows like that.
Okay, I can definitely do that. What's step 2?
After 1 month of noticing, Start categorizing. Take those sentences you collected and group them. Some are about present actions, some about past, some are questions.
That sounds complicated. What if I categorize them wrong?
There's no wrong at this stage. You're training your brain to see patterns. Let me give you a daily life example. Organizing your closet.
My closet is a disaster, but go on.
Even in a messy closet, you know where your t-shirts are versus your pants, right? You categorized automatically without thinking about it.
That's true. I never thought about it that way.
Grammar categories work the same way. After a while, you'll instinctively know this sentence talks about something that happens regularly versus this talks about something happening right now.
So I'll learn tenses without memorizing those horrible tense tables?
The tables come later as reference, not as your starting point. Step 3 happens around month 2. Start speaking using the patterns you've noticed.
Speaking is my biggest fear. What if people don't understand me?
Here's a daily life hack. Talk to yourself first. Narrate your day in English as you do activities.
Like talking to myself while cooking or cleaning?
Exactly. I am chopping onions. I chop onions every day. Yesterday, I chopped 3 onions. Tomorrow, I will chop more onions.
That sounds ridiculous, but also kind of fun.
It's brilliant. You're practicing 4 different tenses in a real context that you'll remember because you're actually doing the action.
What about more complicated grammar, like conditionals or passive voice?
Those come naturally around month 4 or 5, once your foundation is solid. Let me give you a daily example for conditionals.
Please do, because conditionals are my nightmare.
They're not scary. Think about planning your weekend. If it rains, I'll stay home. If it's sunny, I'll go to the park.
Wait, that's first conditional, right?
Yes! And you use this thinking pattern every single day in your native language.
Oh my God, you're right! So, I just need to train myself to think these thoughts in English?
Precisely. Now, let me share the biggest secret that most grammar books won't tell you.
I'm listening.
Shh. English grammar has only about 12 core patterns that cover 90% of daily communication. Everything else is just variations.
12? But my grammar book has like 50 chapters.
Those chapters are breaking down the 12 patterns into tiny pieces, which makes it seem overwhelming.
So, I've been wasting my time trying to memorize all those chapters?
Not wasting, but definitely making it harder than necessary. Let me list the core patterns you need from 0.
Yes, please. I'm ready to focus on what actually matters.
Pattern 1, simple statements. Subject plus verb. I eat. She runs. This covers present simple and basic sentence structure.
That seems too simple. How does that help in real conversations?
Because 80% of daily communication uses simple statements. I work here. She likes coffee. They speak Spanish.
Okay, I can see that. What's pattern 2?
Pattern 2, talking about ongoing actions. Subject plus to be plus verb ing. I am eating. She is running.
So that's present continuous, right?
Exactly. And here's a daily life moment. You're cooking and someone calls. You say, I'm cooking right now. Can I call you back? I say that in my language all the time. So I just need to train myself to use the English pattern. You're getting it. Pattern 3, talking about completed actions. Subject plus past verb. I eat. She ran. But past tense has so many irregular verbs. Go, went, eat, ate, run, ran.
True, but here's the trick. The top 20 irregular verbs cover most daily conversations. Learn those first through usage, not memorization.
Which 20 verbs?
Go, come, eat, drink, make, do, have, get, take, give, say, tell, know, think, see, hear, buy, bring, feel, find. Use these in daily self-talk.
I can practice those. What about pattern 4?
Pattern 4, future intentions. Going to plus verb. I'm going to eat. She's going to run.
Like when I say, I'm going to watch Netflix tonight?
Perfect example. You're already using these patterns. We're just making you aware of them.
This is actually making sense. What's pattern 5?
Pattern 5, asking questions. Question word plus auxiliary plus subject plus verb. What do you eat? Where does she run?
Wait, what's an auxiliary?
Do, does, did, will, can, could, should. These helper verbs. Daily example. Do you like pizza? Can you help me?
Oh, those little words that help make questions.
Exactly. Pattern 6, negative statements. Subject plus auxiliary plus not plus verb. I don't eat meat. She doesn't run.
So these 6 patterns cover most basic grammar?
These 6 cover about 70% of daily conversations. Let me give you 6 more to reach 90% coverage.
I'm ready. This feels manageable now.
Pattern 7, present perfect. Have, has, plus past participle. I have eaten. She has run. Use this for experiences and recent actions. Present perfect always confused me. When exactly do I use it?
Daily example. Your friend asks if you watched a new movie. You say, yes, I've seen it. Or, no, I haven't seen it yet.
Oh, it's for when the specific time doesn't matter, just the experience?
You've got it! Pattern 8, modal verbs. Can, could, should, would, must, plus base verb. I can swim. You should try.
These are for abilities and advice, right?
And permission, obligation, possibility. Daily example. Can I use your phone? You should see a doctor. It might rain.
I use these thoughts every day. What's pattern 9?
Pattern 9, passive voice. To be plus past participle. The food is cooked. The house was built.
When would I use passive instead of active voice?
When the action matters more than who did it. Daily example. My phone was stolen. You care about the phone, not about the thief.
That makes sense. 3 more patterns?
Pattern 10, conditionals. If plus condition, result. If it rains, I stay home. We touched on this earlier.
Right. I remember. These are for possibilities and imagining situations.
Exactly. Pattern 11, comparatives and superlatives. More, most, or erst. Bigger, biggest. More beautiful, most beautiful.
Like, this coffee is better than that one, or this is the best coffee ever?
Perfect examples. And finally, pattern 12, relative clauses. Who, which, that connect ideas. The person who called. The book that I read.
So these 12 patterns really cover 90% of grammar?
Yes! Everything else is just combining or slightly modifying these patterns. Now, let's talk about your learning schedule from 0.
How should I organize my learning time?
Month 1, patterns 1 through 3. Just simple present, continuous, and past. Spend 30 minutes daily noticing these in TV shows, songs, conversations.
Just 30 minutes? That's doable.
Month 2, add patterns 4 through 6. Questions and negatives. Start self-talk practice while doing daily activities.
What if I feel silly talking to myself?
Everyone feels silly at first, but imagine you're a sports commentator narrating your life. Make it fun.
And he's opening the refrigerator. What will he choose? The cheese or the ham?
That's the spirit. You're learning and entertaining yourself. Month 3, patterns 7 through 9. Present perfect, modals, and passive.
By month 3, I should be comfortable speaking about daily topics?
Absolutely. You'll be able to talk about your routines, experiences, make requests, give advice. That's solid intermediate level.
What about months 4 through 6?
patterns 10 through 12, plus start mixing patterns. This is where real fluency begins, because you're combining structures naturally.
And after 6 months, I'll have good grammar?
You'll have functional grammar that works in real life. Perfect grammar takes years, but useful grammar takes months with the right approach.
What resources do you recommend, besides TV shows?
Graded readers at your level. They use controlled grammar, so you see patterns repeatedly. Daily example. Read about topics you actually care about.
Like, what kind of topics?
Whatever interests you. Love cooking? Read simple recipes in English. Like sports? Follow sports news in simple English.
So learning grammar doesn't mean boring grammar exercises?
Exercises have their place for testing knowledge, but acquisition happens through meaningful exposure and use.
What's the difference between acquisition and learning?
Learning is conscious, studying rules. Acquisition is subconscious, absorbing through exposure. You need both, but acquisition should dominate.
So like 80% acquisition through immersion, 20% learning through studying rules?
Perfect ratio. Now, let me share common mistakes to avoid when learning from zero.
Please do. I want to avoid wasting time on wrong approaches.
Mistake 1. Trying to be perfect before speaking. Daily example. Imagine refusing to swim until you can swim perfectly. You'd never enter the water.
That's exactly what I've been doing with English.
Most learners do. Mistake 2. Learning grammar in isolation, without context. Rules without usage die in your memory within days.
I've experienced that so many times. Memorize a rule, forget it by next week.
Mistake 3. Comparing your progress to others. Everyone's journey is unique, based on native language, learning time, and methods.
But what if I'm naturally slow at learning languages?
There's no such thing. Some people have more time to practice, better methods, or languages closer to English. That's not natural talent.
So anyone can learn English grammar from zero?
Anyone! I've taught people from 15 to 75 years old all successfully learned functional grammar with this approach.
What about accent? Does grammar learning affect pronunciation?
Different skills, but they support each other. Good grammar helps you be understood even with an accent. Daily example. Better to say, I go yesterday, with a good accent, than say nothing because you're afraid of mistakes.
True. Communication is the goal, not perfection.
You've learned the most important lesson today. Now, let's talk about tracking your progress.
How do I know if I'm actually improving?
Keep a grammar journal. Write 3 sentences daily about your day using different patterns. Review weekly to see your range expanding.
What should these sentences look like in week 1 versus week 12?
Week 1 might be, I eat breakfast. I drink coffee. I go to work. Simple, basic, perfect for beginners.
And week 12?
Week 12. I've been working on my English, and I'm noticing that I can express more complex ideas. If I continue practicing daily, I'll become fluent.
Whoa, that's such a visible difference.
That's the power of consistent, smart practice. Now, let's address motivation, because grammar learning requires persistence.
Yeah, I always start enthusiastically and quit after 2 weeks. How do I stay motivated?
Connect grammar to personal goals, not abstract learning. Daily example. If you want to work internationally, imagine using each pattern in a job interview.
So make it real and relevant to my actual life?
Exactly. Want to travel? Imagine using conditionals to discuss travel plans. If I visit Paris, I'll see the Eiffel Tower. That makes it feel purposeful, not just academic. And celebrate small wins. When you successfully use present perfect in a real conversation, that's a victory worth celebrating. I usually only notice my mistakes, not my successes. That's human nature, but shift your focus. Keep a success log. Write down each time you use grammar correctly in real situations. I like that idea. It would probably boost my confidence too. Absolutely. Confidence and competence grow together. Now, let's discuss dealing with frustration, because everyone hits walls. I definitely get frustrated when I can't express what I want to say. Daily example. Even native speakers often say, "What's the word I'm looking for?" It's normal. So, how do I handle those frustrating moments? Have backup strategies. Can't remember the perfect tense? Use a simpler structure that conveys the same meaning. Like, instead of "I have been working here for 5 years," just say "I work here 5 years." Exactly. It's not perfect grammar, but communication happened. You can refine accuracy later. So, fluency first, accuracy second? You're nailing these concepts. Yes, especially when learning from zero. Accuracy without fluency is useless. Fluency with approximate accuracy gets you far. This whole conversation has changed my perspective on grammar. That's wonderful. Now, let me give you your specific action plan for the next 30 days, starting from zero. I'm ready. Give me concrete daily tasks. Days 1 to 10. Watch 30 minutes of simple English content daily. Write down 10 sentences you hear. Don't analyze yet, just collect.
Any specific content recommendations?
YouTube channels for kids, simple cooking shows, travel vlogs, anything with clear, simple English and visuals to support understanding.
Okay. What about days 11 to 20?
Start your self-talk practice. Narrate 3 daily activities in English: breakfast, commute, and evening routine.
Should I write these down or just speak them?
Both. Speak while doing the activity, then write a few sentences in your journal. This reinforces the patterns.
And days 21 to 30?
Find a language exchange partner or tutor for 2 30-minute conversations per week. Use your practiced patterns in real interaction.
Real conversations after just 3 weeks? Isn't that too soon?
You'll be surprised. Even basic patterns enable real communication. Daily example. Tourists manage with very limited grammar, right?
True. I've helped tourists who just pointed and said, "Where? Hotel?"
And communication happened. Your grammar after 30 days will be far better than that, I promise.
I'm actually feeling excited about this journey now.
That excitement will carry you far. Before we wrap up, let me share 3 golden rules for grammar learning from zero.
I'm listening.
Golden rule 1, comprehensible input must dominate your study time. 80% listening and reading at your level, 20% explicit study.
So I should be consuming way more English than studying grammar rules?
Exactly. Your brain is a pattern recognition machine. Feed it patterns through massive, comprehensible input. What's golden rule 2? Golden rule 2, speak from day 1, even if it's just to yourself. Grammar improves through use, not just study.
Even with tons of mistakes?
Especially with mistakes. Each mistake is your brain testing hypotheses about how English works. Daily example, kids say "I goed" before learning "I went."
And eventually they self-correct through hearing the right form repeatedly?
Exactly. Golden rule 3, focus on communication first, perfection eventually. Native speakers will always understand "I go yesterday," even though it's incorrect.
So I shouldn't obsess over every mistake?
Notice mistakes, learn from them, but don't let perfectionism paralyze you. Progress over perfection, always.
These rules actually make grammar learning feel achievable.
Because it absolutely is achievable for anyone willing to put in consistent, smart effort. Before we finish, I want you and all our listeners to think about one thing.
What's that?
6 months from now, you could be confidently using English grammar in real conversations. Or you could still be at zero, wondering when to start. The choice and the power are entirely yours.
I'm choosing to start today.
This conversation has given me the roadmap I needed.
That's the spirit! And to everyone watching, I want you to comment below. What's your biggest grammar challenge right now? Is it tenses, question formation, conditionals? Yes, and also, what's one pattern you're going to practice this week?
Share your commitment in the comments. When you write it down publicly, you're much more likely to follow through. Also, hit that like button if this conversation gave you a new perspective on grammar.
And subscribe to English Conversation Amelia, because these detailed, practical conversations are exactly what self-learners need. We're building a community of committed English learners here. Your comment might inspire someone else who's struggling with the same challenge.
Amelia, one final question. What's the one thing you wish every beginner knew about grammar?
That grammar is a tool for communication, not a test of intelligence. Some highly intelligent people struggle with grammar, and that's okay.
That's so important to remember.
And remember, every single fluent English speaker you admire was once at zero. They didn't have special talents. They had consistency and smart methods.
That's incredibly encouraging.
So tell us in the comments, are you starting from zero, or are you somewhere in the middle trying to fill gaps? Let's learn from each other's experiences.
And don't forget to discuss with other learners in the comments. Sometimes the best insights come from fellow learners, not just teachers.
Absolutely. Now, I'm going to leave you with a challenge. For the next 7 days, commit to just 30 minutes of English daily. Comment, "I commit," if you're accepting this challenge.
I commit! Starting today with watching a simple English show and writing down 10 sentences.
Love it! And to everyone watching, your journey from zero to confident grammar usage starts with a single step. What will your first step be today?
Thank you so much, Amelia. This conversation has completely changed how I think about learning grammar.
Thank you for asking such great questions. To all our viewers, remember, like this video if you found value, comment your biggest takeaway, and subscribe for more in-depth English learning conversations. Until next time, keep practicing.
And remember, progress over perfection.
Before you go, let's test what you learned today. Here's a quick quiz. Are you ready?
Yes, let's do it.
Question 1. According to our conversation, what percentage of daily English communication do the 12 core grammar patterns cover? A, 50%, B, 70%, C, 90%, D, 100%.
I'll give you 5 seconds to answer in the comments.
Question 2. What did we call the method of noticing grammar in real contexts before studying formal rules? A, grammar shadows, B, grammar lightning, C, grammar practice, D, grammar memorization.
Comment your answer.
Question 3. What's the recommended ratio of comprehensible input to explicit grammar study? A, 50-50, B, 80-20, C, 60-40, D, 90-10.
Last question.
Question 4. What should you prioritize when learning grammar from zero? A, perfection then fluency, B, fluency then accuracy, C, only accuracy, D, only speaking.
Comment your answers below and let's see how well you listened. This is level B1-B2 content, perfect for intermediate learners. See you in the next conversation. Keep learning, keep growing.